Captain Haenul Kim stood at the command center of the terrestrial Genesis, watching the massive alien ship approach. The ship looked like a giant silver leaf floating in space. Its smooth surface reflected the light from nearby stars, creating beautiful patterns that reminded Haenul of waves on Earth's oceans. "Captain, they're requesting to speak with you," said Officer My Son at the communication station. Her fingers moved quickly across the control panel as she prepared for the video call. Haenul straightened his uniform and nodded. "Put them on the main screen." The screen lit up, showing a tall, blue-skinned alien with 4 eyes and silver markings on its face. This was Ambassador Rax of the Luminox Federation. Even after 6 months of talks, Haenul still found it amazing to speak with beings from another world. "Captain Kim," Rax said in perfect English, "thanks to their translation technology, we are grateful for Earth's quick response to our request for help." Haenul smiled politely. "We're honored to assist. Though I must admit, we were surprised by your specific request for Earth's dangerous creatures." Rax's upper eyes blinked while the lower ones remained fixed on Haenul. "Our situation is desperate, Captain. Our colony worlds are dying. The plants grow too fast, the herbivores multiply without control, and our artificial solutions have failed. We need natural predators. And you think Earth's predators are the answer?" Haenul asked. "Your world has the most efficient and diverse predator species we have ever discovered," Rax replied. "In all our exploration of space, we have never found a planet that developed such perfect killing machines." Haenul watched as images appeared on a side screen. Earth's deadliest creatures. Spiders that could kill with a single bite. Snakes that could swallow creatures twice their size. Big cats that could run faster than any human. These were the things that had shaped human evolution, made them clever, made them survivors. What you call perfect killing machines, Ambassador, are actually part of a delicate balance, Haenul explained. Each predator has its place, its purpose. They keep populations in check and help ecosystems stay healthy. The door to the command center opened, and Dr. Jai-Ho Park walked in. The xenobiologist carried a tablet filled with data about Earth's predators. His excitement was clear on his face as he approached the screen. "Ambassador Rax," Jai-Ho said, bowing slightly, "I've reviewed the environmental data from your colonies. I believe we can help, but we must be very careful about which species we introduce." Rax's silver markings seemed to shimmer. "We understand the risks, Doctor. But our need is great. 3 of our farming colonies lost half their crops last season because of unchecked herbivore populations. Without predators, our worlds have no balance." Haenul looked at the data scrolling across his screen. The Luminox had created beautiful worlds, full of engineered plants and peaceful plant-eating creatures. But they had forgotten nature's most important lesson. Life needed both creation and destruction to stay in balance. "We will help you," Haenul decided. "But we do this our way, starting small and moving carefully. Earth's predators took millions of years to evolve. We can't rush their introduction to new worlds." "Agreed," Rax said. "We have prepared special facilities on our colony world, Nexus Prime. Your team will have full control over the project." As the call ended, Haenul turned to Jai-Ho. "Are we really ready to introduce Earth's deadliest creatures to alien worlds?" Jai-Ho smiled, his eyes bright with scientific curiosity. "Captain, this is the chance of a lifetime. We can help the Luminox, and at the same time, show the galaxy why Earth's ecosystems are special, why even our most dangerous creatures are valuable." Haenul nodded slowly. He knew this project would change both human and Luminox society forever. He just hoped they were ready for what would happen when Earth's predators met alien prey. "Send the message to Earth," he told My Son. "Tell them we're starting Project Genesis, and pray we're not making a huge mistake." The terrestrial Genesis turned slowly, setting course for Nexus Prime. Behind it, Earth shone like a blue jewel in space, home to both humanity's greatest fears and their greatest hopes for the future. Dr. Jai-Ho Park stood in front of the large screen in the Terrestrial Genesis conference room. Behind him, images of Earth's predators moved across the display. The room was full of both human scientists and Luminox officials, all watching closely as he explained his plan. "We must start with the right creatures," Jai-Ho said, pointing to an image of a honeybee. "Even small predators from Earth can have big effects on an ecosystem." Dr. Yi-Jin Kang, sitting at the front of the room, raised her hand. "Jai-Ho, I agree we should start small, but bees aren't predators. They're pollinators." "True," Jai-Ho smiled, "but they can defend themselves better than most predators. And they work together, like a tiny army." The Luminox worlds need to learn about Earth's defensive abilities before we introduce true hunters. Colonel Ta Wan Li stood up from his seat at the back. His military uniform made him stand out among the scientists. "With respect, doctors, we're thinking too small. The Luminox asked for our help because their worlds are in danger. They need real predators, not insects." The Luminox ambassador Rax's 4 eyes blinked rapidly. "Colonel Lee's words have merit. Our farm worlds lose millions of credits worth of food each season. Small measures may not be enough." Jai-Ho clicked to the next image, a wolf spider catching its prey. "This is why Earth's predators are so special. They don't just kill. They keep balance. If we bring in large predators too quickly, they might kill everything. We need to build a food chain, step by step." Yi-Jin walked to the front of the room. She pulled up data showing the Luminox's crop losses. "Look at these numbers. The small creatures eating their crops are like our locusts. We need predators that eat insects first. Then we can move up to larger species." Colonel Lee shook his head. "The Luminox aren't just losing crops to insects. Their engineered herbivores are breeding out of control. Some are as big as Earth's elephants. Spiders won't help with that." The room grew quiet as Captain Haendul Kim entered. He had been listening from the doorway. "Maybe you're all right," he said. "We need different predators for different problems. Dr. Park, how long would it take to introduce species in stages?" Jai-Ho looked at his data tablet. 3 months for the first stage. Small predators like spiders and predatory insects. Then we watch and adjust. Maybe 6 months before we try anything bigger. 9 months total." Colonel Lee frowned. "The Luminox are losing crops now." Ambassador Rax stood up, his tall form towering over the humans. "We appreciate Earth's careful approach. But Colonel Lee is correct. Our worlds suffer more damage each day. Perhaps we could speed up the process." "No," Yi-Jin said firmly. "Earth's predators evolved over millions of years. They're perfectly adapted to hunt, kill, and survive. If we rush this, we could destroy the very worlds we're trying to save." Captain Haendul raised his hand for quiet. "We'll follow Dr. Park's plan, but with one change. We'll prepare for each stage now, not later. If the small predators work well, we move to the next stage immediately. No waiting." Jai-Ho nodded slowly. "That could work, but we need strict controls. These creatures aren't just dangerous to your herbivores, Ambassador Rax. They're dangerous to everyone." "How dangerous?" Rax asked. Colonel Lee smiled. "Let me tell you about the Sydney funnel web spider. Its venom can kill a human in hours. It's aggressive, deadly, and perfect for pest control. That's the kind of power Earth's predators have." The Luminox officials whispered among themselves, their silver markings glowing with excitement. They didn't notice the worried looks that passed between Yi-Jin and Jai-Ho. Only Captain Haendul saw the concern on his scientists' faces. "We start tomorrow," Haendul announced. "Dr. Park, Dr. Kang, prepare the first shipment of Earth's creatures. And everyone remember, nature's balance is delicate. We're not just bringing predators to these worlds. We're bringing millions of years of Earth's evolution. Let's hope we're ready for what happens next." The surface of Nexus Prime stretched out before Dr. Jai-Ho Park like an endless green ocean. Fields of alien crops moved in the warm breeze. The purple-tinted sky made everything look slightly strange, but the sight of growing plants made him feel more at home. "The bees are ready," Dr. Yi-Jin Kang said, checking the sealed containers. Inside, Earth's honeybees waited in their special hives. Next to them, smaller boxes held colonies of bombardier beetles. "Are you sure about mixing these two species?" Jai-Ho nodded, adjusting his protective suit. The Luminox had given them special clothing that could resist both the planet's stronger sunlight and any unwanted attention from Earth's insects. Bees will help their plants grow better. The beetles will show them how Earth's creatures defend themselves. A group of Luminox farmers stood nearby, their silver markings glowing with interest. They had never seen Earth insects before. Their own world had nothing like them. "Release the bees first," Captain Henule ordered from his observation post. "Let's see how they handle the local plants." Yi Jin carefully opened the first hive. The bees flew out slowly, confused by the strange gravity in air. But soon they found the alien flowers. To everyone's surprise, the bees seemed to love them. "Look at that," Colonel Ta once said, watching through binoculars. "They're already collecting pollen. Earth's creatures adapt fast." The Luminox farmers moved closer, amazed by the tiny flying insects. One of them, named Du Yun, spoke up. "These small creatures will help our plants. But how will they stop the pest problem?" Jai-Ho smiled. "Watch this." He walked to where some local pests were eating the crops. These creatures looked like large caterpillars with too many legs. Jai-Ho carefully placed a box of bombardier beetles near them. The beetles came out ready for action. When the alien pests came too close, the beetles sprayed their hot chemical defense. The alien creatures quickly moved away, leaving the crops alone. "Amazing," Du Yun said. "They don't even need to fight. They just scare the pests away." But after a few hours, they noticed a problem. The local pests were learning. They started working together, moving in groups too big for the beetles to scare away. The crops were still being eaten. "This isn't working well enough," Colonel Ta once said. "We need something stronger." Jai-Ho watched as a group of pests destroyed a whole section of crops. The beetles tried their best, but there were too many pests. Even the bees, which sometimes defended their new hives, couldn't stop them. "He's right," Yi Jin admitted. "The pests here are too big and too many. We need the next stage." Captain Henule called everyone together for a meeting right there in the field. "What do you suggest?" "Wolf spiders," Jai-Ho said. "And praying mantises. They're bigger predators, but still small enough to control. They'll hunt these pests directly." Du Yun's silver markings flickered with worry. "These new creatures, they kill, not just scare." "Yes," Yi Jin explained gently. "That's how Earth's nature works. Sometimes scaring isn't enough. The balance needs predators that can remove the pests permanently." The Luminox farmers talked among themselves. Then Du Yun stepped forward. "We agree. Bring your hunting creatures. Our crops must survive." As they walked back to the ship to prepare the next phase, Jai-Ho noticed something interesting. Near the beehives, the alien pests stayed away. The plants there grew strong and healthy. It wasn't a complete failure after all. "Earth's creatures will help your world," he told Du Yun. "But you must be patient, and remember, everything we bring has its own special power. Even the smallest bee can change things in ways we don't expect." 1 month after introducing the wolf spiders and praying mantises, Lieutenant Subin Choi walked through the research facility on Nexus Prime. The walls were lined with observation tanks containing Earth's predatory insects. Each tank had special security locks that only human staff could open. Subin stopped at one tank and watched a wolf spider catch its prey. The alien pest never had a chance. These spiders were faster and smarter than anything the Luminox had seen before. In just 4 weeks, they had saved thousands of acres of crops. Impressive, isn't it? Dr. Jai-Ho Park said. joining her at the tank. The spiders have adapted perfectly to hunting the local pests. Subin nodded, but something was bothering her. Too perfectly, maybe. Have you noticed how interested some of the Luminox scientists are in our predators? They're scientists. Of course they're interested, Jai-Ho replied. No, it's more than that. Subin pulled out her tablet and showed him some security footage. Look at this. 3 different Luminox scientists trying to take samples from the spider tanks after hours. And here, someone copy our breeding records. Jai-Ho's face grew serious. Did you tell Captain Hainul? Not yet. I wanted to be sure first. Subin moved to another tank where a praying mantis was cleaning itself. Yesterday, I found unauthorized camera feeds in the mantis breeding room. Someone is studying our predators very closely. Before Jai-Ho could respond, they heard excited voices from the main laboratory. They rushed in to find a group of Luminox scientists gathered around a display screen. Dr. Yi-Jin Kang stood with them, her face showing concern. What's happening? Jai-Ho asked. Yi-Jin pointed to the screen. They're tracking pest populations across the planet. The numbers are dropping faster than we predicted, much faster. One of the Luminox scientists, named Kita, turned to them with all 4 eyes shining. Your Earth predators are amazing. The way they hunt, the way they think. We've never seen anything like them. That's what worries me, Subin said quietly to Jai-Ho. They're too impressed by the killing efficiency. Later that day, Subin called an emergency meeting with Captain Hainul and Colonel Tawan. She showed them her evidence of the Luminox scientists' secret studies. They're not just learning about pest control, she explained. They're studying how our predators kill, how they hunt, how they adapt. Colonel Tawan leaned forward. You think they want to use this knowledge as a weapon? I think some of them do, Subin answered. Not all the Luminox, but a few of their scientists seem very interested in the most aggressive species we brought. Captain Hainul rubbed his forehead. Dr. Park said the predators were adapting well, but this is different. If the Luminox are trying to copy or modify Earth's predators, it could be very dangerous, Subin finished. These creatures evolved on Earth over millions of years. Their hunting abilities, their venoms, their survival instincts, they're perfectly balanced. If the Luminox try to change them or create their own versions, we need to increase security, Colonel Tawan said, and maybe limit which species we show them next. Agreed, Captain Hainul said. Lieutenant Choi, set up new security protocols. And keep watching. I want to know exactly what they're doing with the information they've already gathered. As they left the meeting, Subin looked out a window at the Nexus Prime landscape. In the fields below, she could see the signs of Earth's predators at work. Healthy crops, fewer pests, and a new kind of order taking shape. But she wondered what price they might all pay for bringing Earth's perfect killers to these alien worlds. The emergency alarm woke Captain Hainul Kim in the middle of the night. Red lights flashed through the corridors of the terrestrial Genesis as he rushed to the command center. Dr. Yi-Jin Kang was already there, her face pale as she looked at the main screen. What happened? Hainul asked. Someone broke into the secure storage facilities, Yi-Jin said. They took samples of every Earth predator we brought, including the ones we hadn't released yet. The screen showed security footage of several Luminox scientists entering the storage area. They moved quickly, taking specimens and data files. Their silver markings glowed brightly in the dark, showing their excitement. Do we know who they are? Hainul asked. Lieutenant Subin Choi entered the room, carrying her security report. Yes, sir. They're from the Luminox Conservation Department, led by Chief Scientist Min Ki. But that's not the worst part. What could be worse than stolen predators? Yi-Jin asked. They released them, Subin said. Not just in the test areas, but in the capital city's nature preserves. And they didn't just release the approved species. Hainul felt his stomach drop. Which ones did they release? Australian box jellyfish in their ocean cities. brown snakes in their parks, even a few saltwater crocodile eggs in their wetlands. Su Bin's voice was tight with worry. They took everything we had. Yi Jin grabbed her tablet and started checking data. This is a disaster. These creatures aren't meant for their ecosystems. The jellyfish alone could kill hundreds if they reach populated areas. The main screen lit up with an incoming call. It was Ambassador Rax, and all four of his eyes showed fear. Captain Kim, we need your help. There are reports of dangerous creatures in our waters. People are getting hurt. We're on our way. Haenul said, have your people stay out of the water. These jellyfish are nearly invisible and extremely deadly. After the call ended, Dr. Jai-Ho Park burst into the room. Captain, I just heard. This is my fault. I should have been more careful with the specimens. No time for blame, Haenul said. We need solutions. How do we catch a box jellyfish? That's the problem, Jai-Ho explained. They're almost impossible to see in the water, and their tentacles can still sting even when broken off. The crocodiles haven't hatched yet, Su Bin added. We might be able to find the eggs before they do. Haenul looked at his team. Split up. Yi Jin, you and Jai-Ho focus on the jellyfish. Su Bin, take a team and find those eggs. I'll deal with the snakes and the Luminox government. As they prepared to leave, a new alert came in. The screen showed footage of Luminox citizens gathered around a pool where a box jellyfish had been caught. Instead of being afraid, many of them looked fascinated. Some were taking samples, just like their scientists had done. They don't understand, Yi Jin said softly. These aren't just animals. They're the result of millions of years of evolution on Earth. Each one is a perfect survival machine. Then we better help them understand quickly, Haenul replied, before they learn the hard way why Earth's creatures are the deadliest in the known galaxy. The team rushed to their ships, racing against time to contain the crisis. Above them, Nexus Prime's purple sky was turning red with the rising sun. Somewhere in those alien waters, Earth's most dangerous creatures were discovering their new hunting grounds. And the line between helping the Luminox and endangering them had just become very thin indeed. Dr. Jai-Ho Park stood in the Luminox military archive room, staring at the computer screen in disbelief. Behind him, Lieutenant Su Bin Choi kept watch at the door. They had discovered something that changed everything about their mission. Look at these files, Jai-Ho said, pointing to the screen. They're dated months before we arrived. The Luminox military was already studying Earth's predators. They knew exactly what they wanted from us. Su Bin moved closer to see. The files showed detailed plans for copying Earth's predator abilities. The Luminox wanted to make weapons based on spider venom, jellyfish stings, and snake poison. This goes all the way to the top, Su Bin said. Some of their military leaders planned this from the start. The crop problem was real, but it wasn't their main reason for asking for our help. Jai-Ho downloaded the files to his secure tablet. We need to show this to Colonel Ta-Wan. He'll understand what these weapon plans mean. They found Colonel Ta-Wan in the Emergency Command Center, where he was helping coordinate the hunt for the released creatures. Captain Haenul was there too, talking to Dr. Yi Jin about the jellyfish situation. Sir, Su Bin called out, we found something important. Everyone gathered around as Jai-Ho showed them the files. Colonel Ta-Wan's face grew darker with each image he saw. I've seen this before, he said. In Earth's history, military groups trying to copy natural weapons, but the Luminox are trying to do in months what took Earth's creatures millions of years to develop. How dangerous could this be? Captain Haenul asked. Very dangerous, Ta-Wan replied. Think about it. They want to copy the box jellyfish's invisible tentacles, the spider's hunting ability, the snake's venom. They're trying to make perfect weapons. Yi Jin spoke up from her station. That explains why they're more interested in studying the predators than catching them. Every time we find a jellyfish, their scientists take samples before we can remove it. But they don't understand what they're dealing with, Jai-Ho said. Earth's predators are perfectly balanced. Their hunting abilities, their poisons, their defenses, everything works together. You can't just copy one part. Suddenly, new alarms started ringing. The main screen showed emergency signals from one of the Luminox research labs. "What's happening?" Hainul asked. A young Luminox scientist appeared on the screen. His silver markings were flashing with fear. "Please help. The test subjects. They're changing. The modified specimens are becoming more aggressive. We can't control them." "Modified specimens?" Yi Jin asked. "What did they do?" "They tried to make their own versions of our predators," Taiwan said grimly. "And now they're learning why that's a terrible idea." Captain Hainul stood up. "Jai Ho, Yi Jin, get to that lab. Find out what they created and how to stop it. Su Bin, take a security team and help them. Colonel, we need to talk to the Luminox leadership right now. This has gone too far." As they rushed to their tasks, Jaho thought about all the warnings they had given about Earth's predators. The Luminox had listened, but they hadn't really understood. Earth's creatures weren't just animals. They were the result of an endless arms race between predator and prey. Trying to copy them without understanding this was like trying to control a force of nature. And nature, as they were all about to learn, could not be controlled. Captain Hainul Kim sat across from San Ho Quan, the moderate Luminox leader who had adopted a human name to show respect for Earth culture. They were meeting in the Luminox High Council chamber, surrounded by the planet's most important leaders. "Your people tried to weaponize our creatures," Hainul said firmly. "This goes against everything we agreed to." San Ho's 4 eyes looked down in shame. His silver markings had turned a dull gray, showing his sadness. "You are right, Captain. Some of our military leaders forgot the true purpose of our agreement. They saw only the power of Earth's predators, not their place in nature's balance." Dr. Yijin Kang stepped forward with her report. "We've contained most of the released creatures. The jellyfish are being removed from your oceans. The snake eggs were found before they could hatch. But your modified specimens, they must be destroyed," San Ho said. "We see that now. Trying to copy Earth's predators was a mistake. These creatures took millions of years to become what they are. We cannot copy that in a laboratory." Colonel Tawan spoke next. "We need new rules, strong rules. If we continue helping your worlds, you must promise never to try making weapons from Earth's creatures again." The Luminox Council members talked among themselves. Finally, San Ho turned back to the humans. "We agree, but please, help us understand. How does Earth live with such dangerous creatures? How do you find peace knowing these predators exist?" Hanul smiled. "That's the key lesson we wanted to teach you. Earth's predators aren't just dangerous. They're part of a system. Each creature, no matter how deadly, has its place." Dr. Jaiho Park stepped up to the large screen in the council chamber. He showed images of Earth's ecosystems. "Look at how everything connects. Predators keep prey animals from eating too many plants. Plants provide food and shelter. Every species depends on others. Like a great dance," San Ho said, understanding in his eyes. "Each dancer must play their part." "Exactly," Yi Jin agreed. "When we brought Earth's predators here, we didn't just bring killing machines. We brought millions of years of balance, of evolution, of life learning to work together." Lieutenant Su Bin Choi added her security report. "We've improved the containment systems. Every Earth creature now has tracking devices. We'll know if anyone tries to take samples or move them without permission." The council voted on the new rules. They agreed to strict controls on Earth species. They would accept help with their crop problems, but only if they followed the humans' guidance exactly. "There's one more thing," Hainul said. "We want to teach your people about Earth's ecosystems, not just the predators, but how everything works together. Will you learn?" San Ho's markings brightened. "Yes, our scientists will study the balance you speak of. We will learn to see these creatures as you do, not as weapons, but as teachers." As the meeting ended, Hey Newell looked out at the purple sky of Nexus Prime. Somewhere out there, Earth's creatures were doing what they had evolved to do, keeping balance, controlling pests, making the alien world a little more like home, not through conquest or weapons, but through the ancient dance of predator and prey that had shaped his own world for millions of years. Maybe that's the real lesson, he said to his team. Earth's deadliest creatures aren't just about killing. They're about life finding a way to work together, no matter how different each species might be. 1 year after the crisis, Dr. Yi-Jin Kang stood in the observation dome of the Luminox Academy of Earth Sciences. Below her, students from both Earth and Luminox walked through carefully controlled habitats. They were studying how Earth's creatures had changed life on Nexus Prime. "The results are better than we hoped," she told Captain Hae-Nul Kim, who had come for the final inspection. "Look at the crop fields." Through the dome's clear walls, they could see healthy fields stretching to the horizon. Wolf spiders and praying mantises kept the pest populations under control. Bees buzzed between alien flowers, helping plants grow stronger than ever before. "And the ocean cities?" Hae-Nul asked. "Safe now," Dr. Jaiho Park said, joining them with his tablet. "We removed all the box jellyfish. But something interesting happened. The Luminox learned from them. They designed better safety nets for their underwater farms, copying the way jellyfish catch prey." Lieutenant Su Bin Choi appeared with San-Ho Kwan, who now led all Earth Luminox science projects. "The military research has completely changed too," Su Bin reported. "Instead of trying to copy Earth's predators as weapons, they're studying how these creatures protect themselves." San-Ho's silver markings glowed with pride. "Yes, we learned that Earth's creatures are not just about killing. They show us how life solves problems, how it adapts, how it survives." Colonel Ta-Won Lee, who had once pushed for more aggressive predator introduction, nodded in agreement. "The Luminox military now helps protect endangered species on their worlds. They understand that every creature has value." "Show them the new discovery," San-Ho said excitedly to Jaiho. Jaiho displayed a video on the dome's screen. It showed a group of local animals learning to work with Earth's predators. The alien creatures had adapted their behavior, becoming more cautious, more clever. "Evolution in action," Yi-Jin explained. "The presence of Earth's predators is making the local species smarter, stronger, better able to survive, just like what happened on Earth millions of years ago." Hae-Nul watched as a school group toured the spider habitat. The children, both human and Luminox, showed no fear. Instead, they were fascinated by how the spiders built their webs, how they helped protect the crops, how they fit into their new world. "The next generation understands," San-Ho said. "They see what we did not at first. Earth's deadliest creatures are not monsters. They are teachers. They show us how life finds balance." A message appeared on the main screen. More worlds in the Luminox Federation were asking for Earth's help with their ecosystems. But this time, they wanted to learn the whole story, not just about predators, but about the delicate balance of life that Earth had developed over millions of years. "Should we help them?" Hae-Nul asked his team. "Yes," they all agreed. Even Colonel Ta-Won smiled. "But this time," Yi-Jin added, "we teach them everything. About balance, about patience, about respect for life in all its forms, even the ones that seem dangerous." As the two suns of Nexus Prime set in the purple sky, Earth's creatures continued their ancient work. They hunted, they protected, they kept balance. And in doing so, they taught their alien neighbors the most important lesson of all, that life, no matter how strange or scary it might seem, finds ways to work together. The deadliest creatures from Earth had become the greatest teachers in the galaxy. And that was the most unexpected harmony of all.